You could have been born in 2185, walking the streets of Suncast, the utopian city formerly known as Fresno, California. That was before the state of Florida decided to nuke it on a Sunday morning in the late 2060s. Floridian governor and golf pro Randy Calhoun III famously said,
"Well, we know they like their heat, their drought, and, pretty sunsets. So we amplified the climate for our good friends on the West Coast."
But since you and I were born too early to see Suncast, all we could do was dream of utopian societies. And the design aesthetic of the early 2000s that just captured me and visualized them best was Frutiger Aero. Soft, optimistic futurism sums up the Aero look. It's a user interface, stylized by rolling green fields, crystal clear waters, this bubbly and reflective, clean appearance. If you were running Windows Vista or the Nintendo Wii back in the day, you know this. And you also know this vibe matched the global hope going on, because people liked what they saw. And what they saw was knowledge at your fingertips, the world finally within reach, and 1,000 songs in your pocket. Life is good, especially if your name is Steve and you run a fruit company. 20 years prior to Aero, the Apple II is in living rooms across America. Its beige shell and, for the time, sleek exterior sits quite casually next to houseplants and table lamps. And it's around this time that Steve began seeding the next chapter of home computing. He stopped pitching specs and started pitching possibility. He'd frequently reference an issue of Scientific American that had compared the energy efficiency of various species of animal. A human ranked surprisingly low on that list, but give that human a bicycle and it becomes the most energy efficient animal. Low metabolic input, high locomotive output. Jobs saw how a vehicle could amplify human capability and asked, why can't a computer amplify human creativity? This belief that technology could become harmonious with the human mind, become a companion, a friend, was shown in 1984 when Apple made the fucking thing say hello to the world.
Hello, I'm Macintosh. It sure is great to get out of that bag.
An interface smiling at you. And whilst that idea formed around the 80s in the personal computer revolution, those same thoughts cropped up years later in the digital revolution. Aero is reassuring. It's eco-futuristic and kind of ridiculous, but it's got so much charm to it. I can confidently cap these years off here as my time as a utopian hopeful. And this whole aesthetic just symbolizes that. Things are only getting better. And until they weren't. It's a tricky thing to decipher. Do things seem dystopian because look around, they absolutely are? Or is it because we have to compare the planet today with what we were promised? When's the last time you were looking forward to the future? For me, it was when car companies would design a concept vehicle for like 20 years down the road. And I loved imagining what the next phase of automotive design would look like. Seeing these alien, often ugly designs in showrooms just put the biggest smile on my face. Cars of the 2000s, like so many other products, embraced Frutiger Aero in some way. Some of them look like they run on bubbles. They did go a bit far when Pablo Diego, Jose Francisco de Paula, Juan Nepomuceno, Crispin Crispiniano, Maria Remedios de la Santísima Trinidad Ruiz, Picasso, co-creator of the Cubism art movement of 1907, has got his name slapped on this. Once again, Cubism. It's fair to say now that we're a long way past the hopeful, somewhat delusional vibes that surrounded the turn of the millennium. So, where are we now? The ideal set up by the party was something huge, terrible, and glittering. A world of steel and concrete, of monstrous machines and terrifying weapons. A nation of warriors and fanatics marching forward in perfect unity, all thinking the same thoughts and shouting the same slogans, perpetually working, fighting, triumphing, persecuting, 300 million people, all with the same face. And Apple has my face. They have my voice, they have my fingerprints. When OS Tarantino gets released, they'll have my toes, and then there'll be a Mellow clone just cooking in Cupertino, being taught Mandarin by Tim Cook. I do think sometimes, would Steve look around nowadays and think his bicycle had become a lounge chair? What was designed as a tool to enhance efficiency and creativity had become this Pandora's box of algorithms that nurtured frictionless addiction. Dystopia doesn't have to mean Minority Report, iRobot, Equilibrium, or any other naughty sci-fi with that damn blue hue. When knowledge and information become infinite, certainty becomes fragile. It's very easy, as of a couple minutes ago, for me to quote Orwell and pair it with footage from our present and convince you that the world today aligns with his words and warnings more so than it ever has, making you say, yep, we're going straight to hell. I don't believe this. I used to, because I can cap these years off as a dystopian acceptor, but I don't feel as if things are getting better. I don't feel as if things are getting worse. Things are just getting weirder. Maybe we're just in the awkward adolescence of the AI era. We're in the weird void between versions, and that's why it all just feels a bit much. But that perfect utopia in the Aero vision, I think it arrived, just in pieces requiring assembly. And maybe it'll just take another 25-year-old to ask, why are we not connecting part A to part B, thus jump-starting whatever the hell comes next. Thanks for watching.